All right, let's talk about chapter 7 of Gulliver's Travels, and yeah, talk about it, and then take a look at the notes, which I've actually already did this time. Ooh, I prepared. So yes, in this chapter, Gulliver among the Lilliputians, the roosters come home to rest. A anonymous high person in the court that he, I guess, helped out when he was in trouble comes to him in secret and shows him articles of impeachment, which I guess is a commentary on articles of impeachment of various figures that the Whig government, is it the Whig government, did against various political people of the time when they were kind of clearing house in the rise to power of George the First. And So yes, and the things that are number one is pissing on His Majesty, the Majesty's um, um, uh, apartments when they were on fire. No one should be peeing past water in the thing, and he did it in such an outrageous manner. And indeed, there seems to be some implication that, well, what happens if in the future he gets, oh, that might come a little later, but he gets so pissed off he just drowns us all with his pee. There's maybe more significantly, he's refused to take up arms and completely subjugate the Belfuskins, turn them into a province, and kill all the big Indians. Basically extinguish them, or anyone who still refuses to convert to the small Indian, the right way, the right way. But yeah, it's like refusing the emperor's desires is definitely something there. Um, so there's a big debate on, like, we should kill him, and like everyone seems to be should be kill him. However, he does have a friend. He does have a friend in the court. What's his name? Slipknot. Um, it's God damn it, because Bologolem, Bo Bo Bolgolam, the admiral, is his definite enemy. And yeah, and someone, god damn it, don't know if I even need the names. All these names are just hilariously, just kind of weird constructions by Swift, which makes them really hard to remember. Yes, Rel Dressel, the principal secretary for the private affairs, has always proved himself as fair. It's like, oh no, let's not kill him. Let's just blind him. Because, if you blind him, then he can just be guided by the ministers of state, much like your majesty is. Like, all majesties are all the kings and stuff like that. They're completely blind. They're guided by their ministers, and we can just blind him, and he can be guided by us as well. But the counter argument to that is, well, he's just going to get, like, when you blind certain fowls, they just get more hungry, basically probably from sitting around, and they just eat more. And Gulliver is already kind of beggaring the state with his great appetites. And so it's like, oh, okay, well, I have a compromise. There's a compromise. We won't kill him, but what we'll do is we'll blind him, and we'll slowly decrease his food until he starves to death. And he'll die that way. Isn't that like, and they have a great thing of, like, oh, the great mercies. And indeed, there's the practice of, once they've put out a terrible sentence, they'll then release stuff saying how lenient and how merciful the great lord or the prince is. And of course, to the populace, it's like, oh, the more merciful they say he is, the more lenient they say he is. It's like, it's like the more terrible the judgment that they've put out on somebody, which is apparently a comment of all of George the First's proclamations after George the First cleaned house and had lots of people executed, and a lot of people who, like Gulliver, had to flee the country. They fled to France, and Gulliver definitely decides after hearing all this, it's like, well, I've already gotten a light, because like one of the other charges put up against him is he wants to go to Belfuscu, and he got a permission, verbal permission from the emperor to do so. But that's also seen as a traitorous act. You're obviously gonna give comfort to these people that you refuse to destroy for me. So even though that he's been granted that, that's seen as further proof of his thing. But he's like, at the moment, he's technically got permission, so he takes the permission. He just says, I'm leaving, and before getting an answer, he grabs a man of war, puts his clothes on it, undresses, puts his clothes on it, tows it behind him, goes to Belfuscu, and arrives at Belfuscu saying he's come for his official visit, that he's been given permission by his lord, his prince, his emperor, and that he should he'll do whatever he can within the kind of the realm of his oath. He's trying to still be a loyal subject while getting the fuck out of town, because they plan on blinding him and starving him to death. So yes, that is this particular section of Gulliver's Travels. Definitely pointed stuff about the day. About I love that image of, like, we're gonna blind him, and then he can be guided by the ministers, just like emperors and princes are completely blind to what's actually happening and have to be guided by their ministers. That is an interesting idea that I like. It's like, wow, you're saying this openly, but in a silly fantasy book, so it's okay. Yeah, really, really cool stuff. All right, I will leave it there. More videos later.